the story is actually about a number of homecomings, and also one of the most important ones of my life, and it's not my homecoming exactly. I was involved with a woman named Lindsay, who I dearly loved and actually still love. We'd been together since 2009. She'd been gone to Mexico for 3 months. She went to Dubai. She'd been in Massachusetts for a year of graduate work and always came home. In 2012, we had a hand fasting. That's sort of a fake marriage where you put the cords on but you don't tie them. And it's an old Celtic tradition where you're sort of married, but each one can choose to not stay married after a year and not feel any guilt. Well, the beginning of 2012, I gave a talk in India, so I was feeling like I was a god. And after our hand fasting in 2012, I just figured, oh, okay, well, 2013, we'll just do another one, right? I get back from India, and she says, well, what do you want to do? I said, well, let's eat, I sort of faked getting on my knee, and I said, well, let's do another hand fasting. And she said, no. There was an age difference between us, and she wanted to have children, perfectly reasonable, and I didn't think that I could do that again. I already had 2 kids. I didn't think that was in the cards for me. So she was going to leave. We were living together, and we cared about each other deeply, so I really enjoyed watching her finding a job at GSK as a microbiologist. I really enjoyed her finding an apartment and hustling up furniture for cheap. I mean, I enjoyed this process. We started not sleeping in the same bed after a while, which I didn't enjoy so much, but we went another 2 months that way, and it was still, we'd spend time together, we'd talk, but she would also be on the phone with a potential date or what have you. Okay, so it wasn't that great. And she's planned a moving out date. She's going to move out on Father's Day, and I'm going to go with my son skydiving. She's going to leave me, and I'm going to go jump out of a plane. That seemed about appropriate to me at the time. Okay, so she brings in her friend, who is a lot more fastidious than she is. Lindsay was and still is pretty much of a slob. So we go skydiving. But wait, let me back up a second. It wasn't the skydiving that was most important. I made it sound like it was, but it really wasn't. What happened was, she was going to have a big date, and I did not want to be home. So I arranged to visit a friend in Washington for the weekend. And I'd written about a 2-page email to him telling him why Lindsay and I were calling it quits and that there was good reasons for it, and we still cared about each other. So it was a friendly, ending. But the Wednesday before I was supposed to go to Washington and Lindsay was supposed to have her date, I went on a long bike ride from where I live in Mount Joy down to the river in Marietta. It was like a good 20-mile ride. But about halfway through it, I'm just driving down this road, and I see this big tree with a ladder going up to it. And I just imagine our kids playing under that tree. It was like, oh shit, she can't leave. I can do this. So when I get back home, I called her at work and I said, let me pick you up from work and we'll get on, hang out at Marietta, go to McCleary's, one of our favorite places, and talk this out. Well, I'm pretty aroused by this one. I'm crazy. And she's not buying it. She's saying, I kind of talked myself out of being in love with you. I got a date coming up. And I'm not sure I believe this. Can I persuade her? I really can't. So I go the following weekend to Washington, visit my friend who says, look, dude, you're a mature man, you got your pick, you can have anyone you want. And I'm going, can I have her? And I go visit another friend of mine who asked me, well, it's about the sex, right? And I said, well, no, we've been living together 2 months in separate beds, so no. I went down to visit my old therapist who moved to Harrisonburg, Virginia to talk it through. Coming back from that, I just thought, I don't know that I wanted to have kids, but this woman gave me the courage to really think about it. And I thought, I've been through some long breakups, some years of loneliness. I can handle a year. I'll give her a year. So I told her that. And I'm actually thinking about that while falling through the sky on my big skydive. I went on it really because I was facing my fears about not having anything below my feet, and that's kind of a good way to do it. I actually wore a Face Your Fear t-shirt that day. But I came back from that skydive and a day at Ricketts Skydive with my son. And I come in the house, and it's all clean, like Lindsay never left it, and it just felt horribly empty. And I remembered what it was like to be really lonely for a really long period of time. So that week I busied myself. I refinanced my house. I rearranged the art. I was cleaning off my deck. And then I went for another long bicycle ride. When I came back, I was just carrying my bike in the house, and Lindsay pulls up in the driveway. She's got some pot that she accidentally took, and she's, putatively bringing that back, but obviously that's not the real reason. She comes in the house, and she just says, "You go take your shower. I'll pour the wine."